Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be how the narcissist plans the discard. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So first of all, what is a discard? It's when somebody throws something away. Something is not valued or respected and they throw it away. So usually you would discard something like a paper cup or a wipey or something. The narcissist discards human beings. They end relationships via discard. They're doing it right now. They did it yesterday and they'll do it tomorrow. This is one part of the narcissistic abusive cycle that just continues to go around and around and around. And the narcissistic abusive cycle, remember, it's love bomb / euphoric stage when everything appears to be puppies and unicorns, rainbows and butterflies. It's almost too good to be true because it is. The second part would be the devaluation stage when you're trying to get back to that love bomb stage, but you can't quite get back there for any length of time. The third part is the ending of the relationship, i.e. discard, or if you end it yourself, but it's the ending of the relationship. And at times there's a fourth part, which is called the Hoover. Don't accept a Hoover. It's when the narcissist is trying to draw you back into a relationship or trying to test the water to see if you have healed or if you have seen behind the mask. But how the narcissist plans the discard, usually what they do, and many times, they test the temperature and they check the pulse of you and they see how that relationship is going. Is it going the way they want it to go? Are the poor behaviors of the narcissist being tolerated? Are you not trusting your instincts and intuition? In other words, are you turning a blind eye? Are you supporting their poor behavior? In other words, looking away from it and giving them a mulligan and saying, well, they just had a bad day, which turned into a bad week, which turned into a bad month, and next thing you know, it's a bad decade. If you are playing ball with the narcissist and you're doing what they want you to do, when they want you to do it, and with whom, then everything is peachy keen, everything's good according to them. But usually what happens in these relationships is a few things. One, the narcissist is trying to break the relationship. They were trying to break your relationship. They are trying to break the relationship with the new supply, and they're trying to break any relationship that they are a part of right now. Now, it may not seem that way, but the narcissist does not like stability. They don't like serenity and calmness and peace. They need disruption, confusion, chaos, and manipulation. And your relationship was no different. But what happens, how the narcissist plans the discard, what they do is they see how you are behaving or people are behaving, and they're checking to see if you're catching on to them. Are you going to call them out? Are you going to play their game? Meaning, if they make you wait, usually when you would pick them up, they would make you wait. If now it's their turn, are you making them wait? In other words, are you going down in the mud with them? Sometimes people do that. Personally, I didn't. I always took the high road and did the right thing. Maybe you took the high road, but maybe you took some of the bait of the narcissistic abusive cycle and you try to dish it out back to them. When you do that, all you're doing is adding fuel to the fire or fanning the flames of abuse, because they will make you pay for doing what they usually do. Now, having said what I said, when the narcissist senses that something is off in the relationship with you, maybe you're getting wise, you're starting to figure out what's going on, or you are not tolerating the poor behavior as much, or you're not fawning all over them or putting them high up on the pedestal, or basically giving them supply and making them feel important or more valuable than you are. When you're not doing any and or all of those things, usually the narcissist will look to groom a new supply. Now, I am not insinuating that the narcissist wasn't grooming supply sources when you were in the relationship. Quite the contrary. The narcissist needs multiple sources of supply, sometimes romantically, many times in friends and hobby groups and communities and organizations you are and or were a part of. But the narcissist cannot have one relationship with one person and just experience life that way. That's not going to happen ever. The narcissist needs new shiny objects. They need new relationships. They need to feel important. They need new people to believe in the mask. They need new people to elevate them to the next level of their life. This is what the narcissist does. They're on a constant quest, searching for something, the next new shiny object, searching for someone who can take them from their current existence and elevate them to the next level existence. That is why so frequently on the channel I mentioned to you that the narcissist, what they really want is they want to take advantage of people. They look at people as opportunities, and they want to take their time, their money, their energy, their effort, their love, their network, their social status, their health, their assets. They want to take everything they can, because what they want to do is accumulate on this planet called Earth. They want to accumulate money and assets and tangible items and relationships, and the whole time they're doing that, they are devaluing you and they're putting more and more pressure of the relationship on your shoulders. You know exactly what I'm talking about because you were in a narcissistic relationship. Maybe you're in it right now and you're developing or creating an exit plan to remove yourself. But you know that these people and these relationships are extremely challenging, to say the least, because just when you think you've figured out what their behavior will be when you were in the relationship, they throw you a curveball. In other words, let's say that you had a weekend of fun, euphoric stage or love bomb, whatever you want to call it. It was a pleasant weekend. Things were going almost too good to be true. Well, it's because they were. And the narcissist needed you to pay the price for that fun weekend, whatever you had. Maybe it was just a weekend without intimacy, but maybe there was no disruption and you could just be on the couch for 20 minutes and fall asleep or read a book for an hour and you weren't being disrupted. Well, the narcissist would keep that in their steel trap memory and they'd make you pay for it Monday morning. This is what they do. That's part of the cycle. The mini love bomb / euphoric stage and then devaluation and on and on. But how the narcissist plan the discard, it usually is when they've extracted as much of your resources that they could acquire. Not always, but usually. And the discard usually is planned around a pivotal date. Your birthday, the passing of a loved one, the birth of a child, when you relocated, when you lost your job, when you had a health concern, when your money ran dry, when the new supply stepped up and they could offer way more than you could offer because your resources were being decimated. The narcissist is always looking and comparing relationships that they were a part of, that they are a part of, or that potentially they may enter in the future. And they're always checking these relationships to see, number one, if people have healed and gone no contact and blocked them, etc. Number two, if these people, which was you and certainly was me, if you've put yourself back together and dusted yourself off by the bootstraps and you've healed properly and now you see behind the mask and you no longer tolerate poor behavior from anybody because you now have boundaries. And then the other thing they're looking for is if the new supply can actually add more value to their life. When I say value, I mean, do they have deeper pockets than you? Or do they have the country club access or the beach house in Tahiti, etc.? If they have any and or all of those things, the narcissist doesn't care about people as people. They care about people as opportunities. So they will discard people because they believe that the next new shiny object, the person, can provide a better lifestyle than what you provided. This is how the narcissist just disappears onto new sources of supply. And they want to inflict as much damage on the former source of supply as they possibly can, hoping to keep that person stuck, hoping that that person won't break the trauma bond, hoping that person won't heal. So at a later date, they can go back and play the savior and play the hero or blame them again and twist the knife in them even deeper. The narcissist will go any which way the wind blows. But what they will do is they will march to their own drum, march to their own beat. They will not listen to anybody. They will not allow anybody to tell them what to do. How many times did you hear this when you're in the relationship? You're not going to tell me what to do. You're not the boss of me. You don't own me. I'll do whatever I want to do. You'll hear things like that because that is the childlike brain coming out and they're telling you, they're verbalizing it to you, that you can tell them whatever you want to, but they're still going to do whatever they want. And the narcissist always, A, overplays their hand, B, shoots themselves in the foot, C, thinks the grass is always greener, and D, never ever appreciates what they had, specifically with you. Remember, when you were in the relationship, most likely you fell in love or you did love whoever it was. Maybe it was your mom or your dad, a brother, or sister, or an in-law, or a friend, or neighbor, colleague, coworker, etc. You respected them. You thought they were a good person and you gave to a fault. Maybe you were even a people pleaser. Maybe you couldn't say no, the strongest word in the English language, who knows? But you did something and you helped that person out along the way. And to the narcissist, no good deed goes unpunished. So what they want to do is they want to kick you when you're down. Like I said, when you have a health concern or you lose your job, etc., or you have no more money, or you're looking for a house, whatever, they will kick you when you're down and they will discard people. Again, usually the discard will happen around a holiday or a birthday or a pivotal period of life. Because again, why would the narcissist do that? Number one, it's so you don't enjoy that holiday or birthday in the future. Number two, it's meant to disrupt that period of time. Number three, it's meant to stay stuck in your brain, and the narcissist is hoping you won't heal from it, so it will ruin that period or maybe that month of your life for the rest of your life. But what happens along the healing path is we put ourselves back together. We dust ourselves off, we rise through the ashes like a phoenix, and we enter what I call the third version of ourselves, the strongest, most galvanized version of ourselves known to humankind. It's a place what the narcissist was unaware of, that they can't ever attain. They can't ever get to the pinnacle, the mountaintop of indifference, because to the narcissist, there is no healing. Nothing needs to be done. That's why they just discard people or end relationships as if nothing ever mattered. And they erase those relationships like they clean the chalkboard with an eraser when you were in grade school. And again, if they want to come back and try to hoover, they'll try and rewrite the past and blame you or say it wasn't that bad, etc. That's why you need to go no contact and block these people. But why the narcissist planned the discard, or how they planned the discard, it was thought out. Let me tell you right now. What they needed were a few key things. One, they needed to figure out if you could survive in that relationship any longer. In other words, how bad was your health? Or how bad was your mental clarity? How deep were you in the fog? How many zeros did your bank account have these days? And could you sustain more punishment from the narcissist? Because they were always checking the pulse and the temperature of you in the relationship. That's number one. Number two is they were waiting to insert the new supply. Because remember, the narcissist has multiple sources of supply, and they're waiting for one of those people to step up and take the baton and to fill your shoes so they can now elevate their game or their lifestyle to the next source of supply. This is the cycle. It's how it goes on and on and on. And the best thing that ever happened to you was when you exited the relationship. Now you may say, that's not true, Andrew. Getting discarded was one of the most challenging things I've ever gone through, or ending it myself was challenging. I agree. I get it. I was discarded. I know what it's like. But when you heal, and you heal properly, you will understand that every minute you are out of that relationship, and the further you get away from the toxicity of the narcissist, the stronger you get, the clearer your clarity gets, the clearer your mind gets, and you realize that you're getting really, really resilient, and you now see the world through a brand new, different set of eyes. You don't believe in the mask any longer. You don't believe in the words of the narcissist. You don't believe in the false narrative. All the flying monkeys and the enablers, they've all disappeared. They've all weeded themselves out. You don't have to deal with them any longer. And the discard, which was meant to take you down for the count, and I do mean that, it didn't, because you're here in the community and you are learning, you're growing, you're becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered, and you understand that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. Now, these are things you couldn't even fathom when you were in the relationship. You certainly couldn't process these after you got discarded, because most likely you didn't know what narcissism was. But you found that needle in a haystack. It was meant to be. There is no such thing as a coincidence on the planet. You are meant to get the wisdom. You are meant to apply the tools. You are meant to be on the planet much longer than you ever thought you would be. But here you are. And now you're paying it forward. And now my hope is your cup is getting full. And you're taking the lifelong learning lessons from that relationship. And you are not predicting the future. You are living in the present moment. And the discard, if you were discarded, again, my heart goes out to you. It's one of the most challenging, if not the most challenging thing to experience next to breaking the trauma bond. But if that happened, again, you look back and you say, did I want to go through that? Absolutely, you did not. You did everything you could and more in that relationship. But the narcissist, again, they had the new supply lined up, or they realized that your resources were so decimated, they would just leave you on the side of the road, crumbled up like a sheet of paper on the freeway. That's what they do. That's what they did before they met you. That's what they did with you, and that's what they will do after you. Because the narcissist has no love. They have no empathy. They don't care about anybody but themselves. You're learning that now. You're understanding that not everybody has your best interest at heart, and the narcissist is at the top of that list. The narcissist could tell you and promise you, the moon, the stars, the sun, the cosmos, whatever, that you're soulmates, the yin to the yang, you complete them, you're the love of their life, etc. In the past, we fell for that false rhetoric. We believed it. But then back then, we didn't know what narcissism was. Now we can identify a narcissist from 10,000 kilometers away. We now know and can identify the signs of a toxic person. We now trust our instincts, pay attention to our intuition, and we pay attention to red flags. And we now listen and we observe. We become the educated empath. We understand that we are a totally transformed and changed person. We have now elevated and risen so much higher than the narcissist ever thought possible. And the discard that was meant to destroy us and take us down for the count, it almost did, but it didn't, because we are here. We are galvanized. We are full of fortitude, resilience, strength, courage, commitment, dedication, devotion, and purpose. This is what I call the beautiful, bright, shining light. It's within me, and it is within you. It is something the narcissist tried to extinguish when they discarded you. And yes, the discard was planned. Believe me when I tell you it was planned. The narcissists really thought they would extinguish you, but they couldn't, and they tried. And when they left you the way they did, they really sincerely did not believe you would exist. They did not think you would make it. But you are here, and you are understanding that getting your cup full and blocking the narcissist and going no contact, etc., is the path. Staying in the cocoon of boundaries, becoming the educated empath, understanding who you surround yourself with, vetting those people around you, going down rabbit holes of education and rabbit holes of exploration on the narcissistic abusive cycle, learning the definitions and the terms in the glossary on the narcissistic abusive cycle. All these things are imperative, and really taking stock of your life and understanding how and why you entered that relationship. Now, again, was this relationship your fault? No, it wasn't. The narcissist most likely was attracted to you like a moth to a flame, and they probably assimilated themselves with you and told you the things you wanted to hear. Example, if you like to go surfing, skiing, and play chess, that's what they like to do. Truth of the matter is they've never done any of those things in their past, but they studied and learned how to do them, always talk about them, and they got really close with you. Next thing you know, you're in a relationship, and here we go. It's devaluation street. That's the way these things work. But again, how the narcissist plans the discard, it is planned. And now many times people say, well, yes, I believe it was planned because things lined up too spot on. Here's the monkey wrench. Here's the best part about it. And there is no best part about a narcissistic relationship. So I will just say this. Many times people beat the narcissist to the discard, which means they will stand up for themselves and put up a boundary, and they will call the narcissist out and they will say something. And then perhaps the narcissist will still discard them, but it won't be on the narcissist's terms. It will happen sooner than they expected. That's what happened with me, and that's what happens with many people, because the weight of the relationship was on your shoulders. You were being drained every single day from the toxicity of the narcissist, and something had to give. Not only did it have to give because the narcissist was trying to break the relationship, but because you couldn't take it any longer, and your mental clarity was failing, your health was failing, your bank account was going to zero, maybe you were in credit card debt up your eyeballs, who knows. But one day you may have stood up for yourself and said something like, I didn't sign up for this. This isn't what I signed up for, and neither did you. What is going on here? You keep on destroying everything I create. You're not with me, you're against me. Maybe you said things like that. And then the narcissist would know. They would know, okay, I had the discard planned for 8 months from now, but now I need to execute this now. New supply, step up, get ready, you're next. And now I will discard this person, maybe even tomorrow, maybe tonight, maybe in a couple days. But see, the plans of the narcissist got thwarted. They got, a monkey wrench was thrown into them. Did the narcissist still discard you? Yeah, they did, but not on their terms. You just sped up the discard. So like I shared earlier, the discard is not a fun thing to go through, but neither is a narcissistic relationship, and certainly breaking the trauma bond is not a pleasurable experience either. But if you did stand up for yourself and you did call out the narcissist and the discard did happen, let's say the next day or shortly thereafter, you sped up the discard, which meant you saved yourself time. Now again, 1 minute in a narcissistic relationship is 1 minute too long. My wish and my hope is that you never went through a relationship, and I wish I never went through it either, but I did, and you did, and here we are speaking the same language. So what I'm saying is there are times the narcissist will discard people right out of left field. That happens usually. There are other times when people will put up a boundary and say something, and the narcissist will realize, wait, they're getting smart, they're catching on, I need to discard them sooner, and I need to have the new supply step up. But that isn't on the narcissist terms necessarily. And then there are other times that different people will end it themselves, the stronger people. That's how I say it. But the people that ended it themselves, those people knew something was wrong and they took action. Any way you slice it, if the relationship ended and you are now healing, and you are well on the healing path headed towards the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference, be grateful and be blessed that you are out of the relationship. One more time. Did you want to go through that? No, I didn't either. But the narcissist never handed you that 2-page report. They never said what they did to people before you, what they would do to you, and what they will do to people after you. And in that 2-page report is a paragraph at the very end called the discard. They never explain that to you because they're toxic, they're energy vampires, they're shapeshifters, they're hollow, they're cowards, they're bullies, and they know it, I know it, and you know it. That is why ending of these relationships is the most challenging thing. But the point being is you're out of it. If you're out of it, you really need to slow your life down and heal. If not now, when? So we need to understand that relationship was what it was. We need to practice radical acceptance. We need to take the lifelong learning lessons from the relationship and heal and really understand that we're out. This is our time now, and we are all headed towards that pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference. We are all simply on the path taking different footsteps, but we are headed there. And that is without the narcissist, because there is no room on the path and there is no room at the pinnacle for a narcissist ever. There never will be. It's meant for people like you and myself. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. God bless you all. I love you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. And the discard, I know this is a very sensitive video to create, but the truth is, the further you get away from these relationships, the better off you will be. The more your clarity will return, the more your health will return, your finances will return, and your status and everything will return, meaning you will find new friend groups and hobbies, and you will reclaim your life. But the narcissist did plan the discard. If anyone ever doubted it, think again. They knew exactly what to do. That's why they ask so many questions when you're in the relationship about you. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. Bye, everybody.